DJs need love too. Oh, they need love. Yeah, DJs need love too. Yeah, they need love too. Yeah, DJs need love too. Yeah, they need love. Yeah, DJs need love too. Yeah, they need love too. DJs need love too. Oh, they need love.
Back with another episode of the DJs Need Love 2 podcast. I go by the name DJ Monet.
I'm DJ Badio.
And this is...
Frank Ski in the building.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Man, listen, this guest needs no introduction, man. He's a radio and TV personality, a philanthropist, a former DJ, and a voice that has shaped the Atlanta radio culture forever. We got Frank Ski in the building, y'all. Let's go.
Frank Ski in the building!
What's happening?
Yeah, we got him.
Frank Ski, for people who don't know your story, where are you originally from, and how did you get started DJing?
So originally from Harlem, New York City.
Whew.
And then I left when I was young to live with my father down in Miami. Once I got out of high school, I went to D.C. and then, the magic started happening. So I started really young in Miami DJing and rapping and breakdancing and all that. And then D.C. really set it off.
Yeah, you done ran through the East Coast, man.
Yeah.
So you've been a major voice here in Atlanta, though.
Yeah.
What was that moment that you knew that was your calling?
I had come to Atlanta from Baltimore. I was in Baltimore at the time and came to Atlanta to interview with V103, and I decided to spend a week. And I went out. I had a friend that lived here, and she took me to a different spot every night. And honestly, truly, it was 98, and it was every night, Monday through Saturday before I left on Sunday. Every night it was a party.
It's a great time.
That was the old Atlanta, where it was like Monday night, Gentleman's Club, Tuesday, Chili Peppers, Wednesday, whatever, Friday, First Friday, it was just bananas.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was like, okay, Atlanta is my spot.
Yep.
Okay. So how has the industry changed since you first started?
Since I first started DJing, I think it's interesting. It is going back to being more organic. I think it went through a whole rah-rah, I'm a star, I'm a DJ segment, but now it's getting real back to the essence and the feeling of it all. You really see a lot of DJs that DJ because they love it, not because they're trying to be famous. But I think, going back a few years, it did get real Hollywood on the DJ scene across the country. But now that the money is like leveling out in the urban culture for DJs, now the people that are left are people that really love to do it. So yeah.
I really agree with that. I feel like in this era, if you enjoy DJing, you're gonna benefit from it more. Versus being that person that's online doing stuff.
Yeah.
So you're known as a legendary radio DJ. We're gonna say it throughout the whole interview. But what is your favorite era in radio?
So when it comes to radio, my favorite era, it's kind of hard because when I was in Baltimore, I helped usher in the whole Baltimore club music scene.
Ooh,
so that was an exciting time to be there, to see the origination of that. But then coming to Atlanta in 98, just seeing Atlanta grow was an incredible space. I think the late 90s to the early 2000s in Atlanta it'll never be like that again. That was just an incredible space. It was so much happening, so many celebrities here, so many who's who here, so many parties, so much good times, and then that was it.
And I'm gonna do this before Monet get through our question. So you being in DC, when you came to Atlanta, did you notice a lot of DJs not playing that go-go music? Or were you part of that?
So interesting enough, so when I came, I was in D.C. and then I went from D.C. to Baltimore. So even though D.C. and Baltimore are relatively close, when they say DMV, they don't consider Baltimore DMV.
Yeah.
Like DMV is D.C., Maryland, Virginia, but it's just the counties around D.C. When you go to Baltimore, that's Baltimore. That's like a whole different thing, right? And when you're in Baltimore, Baltimore's a dance city, so everybody dances. Nobody stands around. There's no like standing on couches. Everybody dances in Baltimore. And when I got to Atlanta, I remember I was getting ready to do my first party, and I had found this place, Kaya, and I really liked it because it was gritty. It was just a big ballroom with 4 speaker stacks, and and one long bar. And I said, this is where I want to be because that's what I was used to, like being in Baltimore.
No
Big
chairs.
dance floor,
No
no
sections.
chairs, just everybody dancing.
Come on now.
And I remember I was on the radio that day and I did the mix on Friday before the party that night. And I played a house music record. And I remember people were calling the radio station like, what is that?
Yeah.
And people were calling the station. One guy was like, why are you playing all that gay shit? And I was like, what are you talking about? And that really taught me about what was happening in Atlanta at the time. Atlanta was very
Closed.
separated.
Yeah.
Like in Baltimore, you go to a club and it's straight, gay, everybody in the same club. And Atlanta is very separated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was my first vision of that separation. But then I started that night my Northern Exposure parties, which were classic, and the Northern Exposure party was what we were used to up north. Up north, club culture was very different than Atlanta club culture.
I went through a time out here when I was playing my New York music, and people used to look at me like, "Yo, bro,
Yeah.
in the South."
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
but
So
these are
that's
hits,
why.
but,
But
you know-
that's why when I came here, I noticed even when I went out that week, I told you that really changed my life. Every night I went out, they were playing down south music, but it wasn't even because Atlanta didn't have a lot of songs at the time, so it was Master P and other people, and I remember like none of that we were playing in Baltimore. None of that. We were playing like New York hip hop or club music, right?
That's good stuff, right
And I remember it took me a minute to start learning the music, but interesting enough, when I did the Northern Exposure party, that's what it was for. It was for everybody that had moved to Atlanta from a city up north, and they were all fiending for the same thing.
Yeah.
So once that Northern Exposure party hit, everything started changing in Atlanta. So yeah,
You need more of those, man.
yeah. It was cool.
What's like the craziest moment you ever experienced live on air?
Live on air. I mean, there's a couple moments. There's one viral moment that everybody talks about that was kind of unfortunate for my former partner Wanda, where Cat Williams came on, and it was like it's like a big deal. But I think one was I had at the time AG had was doing these parties at the Velvet Room, and he would bring a
AG.
different celebrity, but his celebrities were like him and Mark Barnes in DC were doing the same thing. They would bring cultural celebrities, the first ones.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just music people. So they would bring freaking Hillary Clinton to a party. You know what I mean? And it was like that type of thing, right? And it was like the who's who in the culture. And I remember him and Abe were bringing in O.J. Simpson. And at the time, it was after the whole OJ shit, obviously. But so OJ Simpson was coming on the radio, and it was like a big secret. I was like, we got somebody big. This is big, the biggest thing you want to see. And I remember when they walked him by the window of the studio, my producer on the air was like, oh shit, it's OJ. And everybody was just like, because you hear about OJ,
Yeah.
but
To see
how many
him.
times have you actually seen him?
And seen
Like
him.
everybody knows him, but
Yeah.
I bet you 99% of the people have never like
Seen him.
met him.
Yeah.
You know, and what he meant to the culture historically. That was a crazy moment.
I do have one more radio question. And I think this is probably like the biggest question that all
Yeah.
DJs want to know. Does radio still have that power now that streaming and podcasts are popular?
I would say yes, but to a different demographic.
Okay.
Right? So radio, even people can admit it, they want to, I look at the numbers, right? So radio is really an adult game.
Okay.
So young people like under 25 don't really gravitate to radio. Even the hip hop stations, the hip hop stations average age listener is like 30, right? So the younger people are really streaming. So I can't tell you the last time like my kids ever listened to radio. You know, when they were younger going to school or if they're in school with their parents or whatever. But other than that, they're streaming and they're listening to what they want
So
to
you
listen
mean
to.
to tell me that you don't make your kids listen to you when you're on the radio?
Now they're older.
Yeah.
Now. When they were younger, they had to
Yeah, yeah.
drive into school, but now, and it's interesting. So, but I think there's a thing about that coming back because radio is finally understanding that it's not just radio, right? So the whole thing is all one now. So streaming, podcasting, radio, video, all of that is one thing
now, yeah.
right? And radio is just one of the lanes. So when you get a company like iHeart, they figure that out. You know, they gave Charlemagne the big deal because it's radio, TV, podcasting. So they're giving the radio DJs are going through what the musicians went through 20 years ago with 360 deals, right? So the monetization is in radio before, like radio would make Frank Ski famous, and then Frank Ski would go on the street and make all this extra street money, right? Radio's now saying, okay, we're going to get a DJ, make you famous, but we want a piece of everything.
Wow.
And that's why you see those type of deals coming. But it's really getting to be, it's all the same game. So radio does play a very important part of it. And at the end of the day, the black culture gets their news from two places, either on the radio or social media.
Yep.
Monet, no, I still listen to the radio.
Yeah.
I still listen to the radio. So before we get into our flower segment, I had the opportunity to DJ with you before a couple times.
Yep.
And I just have a question. You speak to yourself in, I guess,
Third person.
third person.
Yep.
And it grew on me. So why do you do that? If y'all don't know, can I demonstrate it? Or,
Sure, go ahead.
Talk to him, Frank Ski.
Yeah.
Mind you, his name is Frank Ski, so he'll talk to himself in third person like as a host would.
Yeah, I'll say, don't do it, Frank. Don't do it. Like that. But because when I came up, we didn't have host. And interesting enough, when I started in DC, I didn't talk. And when I first started doing a big party, there was a DJ who became a mentor to myself and DJ Cool that a lot of people know.
Cool, yeah.
And his name was Maniac. And Maniac talked. So Cool came under Maniac, I came under Maniac, and we watched Maniac talk to the crowd. So he narrated his set. He narrated where he was taking you, narrated. And what I really believe is me DJing a party is an experience, right? So imagine going to a concert, right? You're going to see your favorite group, and the group never says hello to your city. The group never talk to the crowd.
Yeah.
Like imagine whoever it is, you go see a group and they get on stage and sing their songs and they never say, how you feeling?
Yeah.
How you doing? What's going on? They never talk to the crowd, right? Well, some DJs do the same thing.
Yep.
They DJ and they never talk to the audience. But the audience a lot of time is coming to see you. So if somebody's coming to see you, don't you think it's rude you don't talk to them?
Yeah.
So I started with that in mind, just talking to the people, and it's not just saying hello to the birthday person or whatever. I make it a plan when I go into the club. I walk around and talk to people.
Now. Yeah.
I buy drinks. I go to the birthday sections. I take pictures because it's an experience. So
And
if
he
you're
gets
not
a lot of
creating an
people asking for
experience,
pictures.
if you're not giving people the experience, why are they spending the money to come see you?
I think it's what you said earlier. Like a lot of the DJs has stepped into the I'm a celebrity part. So they just walk in the club and go straight to the DJ booth.
Oh, yeah.
I really preach what you just said about when you walk in, you need to walk around the club.
Yeah.
You need to make sure the security guard know that you working today. The bartenders need to get hyped when they see you and walking in.
Yeah, you got to do that. I'll tell you this one thing that will really solidify, and for any DJs listening, this is the biggest thing, right? So when AG built Visions, and Visions was crazy in Atlanta, I would come and I'd go to the bar and I'd buy drinks. AG would give me like 25 drink tickets. I'd go around buying drinks for people, right? And there was this group of guys that was at the bar, and I don't remember what happened, but let me fast forward. So I'm backpacking Europe by myself, right? I'm like 2 weeks off and I'm going to go to Europe with a backpack and just do my thing, right?
Wow.
And I would get on the train and I'd get on Facebook at the time and I'd say, I'm on the train. I said, I'm on the train. I'm headed to Berlin. I've never been. I don't know where to stay. I don't know. And honestly, I just wing it. I get on the train, book my room, whatever, right? So I'm on the train. I put it on Facebook. I kid you not. While I'm on the train, I'm checking my Facebook, and I get a reply from this white guy. And he says, when you get to Berlin, get off the train, walk down this street. There's a restaurant with a bar that's outside. We're going to meet you there. A white guy. And I'm like, all right, this is what you come for.
It's like a Lifetime
I'm
movie
in
right
Europe,
now. Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Understand? I'm in another country that I've never been to. I get off the train. I go to this restaurant. It's 4 dudes sitting there. 1 black guy, 3 white guys. And the guy says, you probably don't remember us, but years ago, we came to Atlanta and went to Visions, and you bought us drinks and you let us hang out in the DJ booth.
Wow.
They said, we're DJs. We're the hottest DJs in Berlin. I was like, oh, shit. For 3 days, I hung out with these dudes at the biggest parties in Berlin, all because I bought them a drink.
Yeah.
Right? So you never know who you're going to bump into.
Yeah.
Bro, you don't know if the person you bump into is going to be the person to have your next job. Most of the jobs that I get are people that, like, yo, they'll come up to the booth. Yo, I'm doing something at the Kentucky Derby. Will you do my party? I'm doing this. Like, if you're not negotiating, and you're not negotiating, but you're not, socializing, you like killing your business, right?
I agree with that.
Most of your business is going to come from association and meeting people. And they're going to say, oh, he's cool. I want to bring him to my event or whatever. Yeah.
That's a good segue to what you're talking about, because now we're going to talk about DJ flowers, right? We want you to give 3 DJs their flowers right now. It could be, they can be inspired. They can be inspired by you. You can inspire them. They could be the ones that got you on your journey. 3 DJs.
You want me to keep it to Atlanta? So I'll keep it to Atlanta. So when I think about DJs in Atlanta, one, I would have to, because really I saw him like build the foundation in Atlanta, would be DJ Nabs. Like, he was like, so when I came to Atlanta, he was the first person I came and watched, right? I would say Nabs. Now, when I go to the clubs, I love his versatility and the way he just pulls shit out the hat and plays a song that I would have never thought. And that would be like DJ E-Class.
E-Class.
And then when I think about new DJs coming up, it's 2 of them that I really like, and I see them play, and it's just their brain really reminds me of somebody who really is in love with the DJ culture. They just love what it's all about. And it's actually 3 of them, and they're on the same level. It would be Popo, J-Tech, and DJ Mars.
Ooh.
And
That's a
those
crazy
guys,
thing right there.
when I say they love what they do, they love what they do, right? Because in order to do what they do, you gotta know that they spend a lot of hours. Like, you can't have a regular job and be them.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have a regular 9 to 5, right? I can look at a DJ and tell who has a 9 to 5 and who doesn't.
Yeah.
Right? I got a 9 to 5. Right? So it's harder for me to be able to think like I used to think when I did not have a 9 to 5. Like the DJ I was when I didn't have a 9 to 5, 5, 6, 7 hours in my house.
Wake up, just DJ.
Just DJ.
Just wake up,
coming up with mixes, ideas, going through records, going through whatever. And now with the internet and all the availability of songs, you can be somebody like Popo. But you could tell he puts a lot of time in.
Yep.
Shout out to Popo, man, going crazy. So let's talk about the philanthropy work that you do. You know what I mean? You are one DJ that is known for giving back. And where did that come from?
So when I first got into radio in Baltimore, on my first real radio job, one of the things back in old school radio that you had to do was public service. So they would put on the board, they would have a board, and it would be 20 events that need a DJ for. And once a month, you had to do a public service event, right? So you had to. Like it wasn't like, I think so, whatever. Like you had to do it. And some of us had to do it 2 times a month. And you had to pick and go out. So it just became part of my fabric in radio to do it and give back. But when I came to Atlanta, I really wanted to do it on a different level and do it a lot bigger. So that's when I created a foundation where I can go out, raise money, and do it bigger.
We appreciate that service, man. It's definitely needed, especially from our careers. People wouldn't think that we have the assets or ability to do such a thing.
Right.
Salute to you for doing such a great thing.
Thank you.
So let's get into our first segment. It's called DJ Craps. Mario will explain you the rules.
Okay.
All right. So this is DJ Craps, guys. We're gonna ask Franksky 7 questions, and if he gets to 7, he wins the game. All right. But it's gonna go from 1 all the way up to 7.
Okay.
DJ related
I'm gonna be
stuff,
out
right?
early.
You ready?
Yeah.
Name 1 song you can play at a divorce party.
At a divorce party, One Woman Man.
Name 2 songs you would play for a wedding's first dance.
Wedding's first dance, of course. Stevie Wonder As, and Always and Forever Heat Wave.
All right, we're going to get a little tricky now. Name 3 songs you can play at a repast funeral.
Depends on how drunk everybody is, really. Because for real, a repast is supposed to be, turned up. So, of course, Boys to Men. How Could I? And then I would say it would have to be some turn up music, like at a repast, because,
There's 2 songs you would play.
Yeah,
More.
I would play, like at a repast, I would play I'm All the Way Up. Nothing could stop me. I'm all the way up, right? And then I would probably play like Nuck If You Buck.
Name 4 line dance songs.
4 line dance songs. Of course, my song, The Wobble. Take it back to the old school, I say the Electric Slide. I like, always get people on the floor, the Cha-Cha Slide.
Okay.
And I'd say Flex by Cupid.
Here we go. Name 5 kid songs.
5 kid songs? What do you mean by kid songs?
Songs that kids would dance to right now.
Oh my God.
I don't even know that one.
That's a crazy one. Songs that kids would dance to right now, and I got a kid. So songs that kids would dance to right now, I would say one would be, my daughter, like all her favorite songs are like Taylor Swift and shit. But,
Let's do it.
but I don't even know all the names of them. But yeah, I would be out on that one.
You'd be out on that one?
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
the last 2 questions was name 6 DJs in each of these states. And I still want you to do this. So first, New York. Name one DJ.
Flex.
And Jersey.
I can't. God, I put that in together in New York. 'Cause
DC.
they both- DC would be DJ Cool.
Atlanta.
Atlanta, I would say Mars.
California.
California, I can't.
All right.
Yeah.
And the last one would have been name 7 songs by Drake. You just had to get to 7. That's one of our dope games. It's called DJ Craps,
like
man.
that. I like that.
This is what people don't understand. DJs have to think on the fly like this sometimes. You got people that's going to come to the DJ booth
Yep.
and they're going to come with these ideas. So we play this game just to practice to rotate the mind because this is how we really work.
And to bounce off of the game, can you name a situation or remember a situation where you've been DJing and somebody might come to the booth and request a song, or they're talking to you the whole time? Like, how did you maneuver through that situation?
Yeah, it's just, my whole thing is people that always want to come up. Like when I go to a city, whoever the host is for that town, always trying to come up and grab the mic, and I'm like, bro, I don't use a host, right? So that's kind of hard. People always want to. Even Friday, I was in the club and guy came up and he said, "Yo, I'm here with so and so, another singer, famous singer," and he was like, "Here's my new song. And I kid you not, like right as he's talking to me, the song pops up on my laptop
Really?
on the
Oh, he
AirDrop.
airdropped it, yeah.
I was like, bro, I don't play no new shit. Like I don't play new shit. And then you get people. I remember I was at a couple weeks ago. I was at Pseudo, and they was up there having a party, and the guy came up and he wanted to hear some record, and I was like. I said, bro, I don't have that record. He said, I'll give you $100. I said, it's not about money. I don't have the record to play it. But they were partying and partying and partying. And they were having a good time. So I pulled the record up and I played it for him. And he's over there partying. I stopped the music. I said, yo, don't you owe me some money? Like he thought he wasn't going to pay me.
Yeah.
I don't because whenever anybody tips me, I always give it either to the other DJ or I give it to the waitress.
Yeah.
Or a lot of times I'll give it to the guy that's cleaning up, right? I'm just that's how I am. I don't keep them. I give it to somebody else. But bro, if you're going to tell me you're going to give me $100, then you're going to give me $100.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to the guy cleaning up.
That's fact, man.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do the would you rather today, but I want to know, what do you prefer, a DJ controller or actual vinyls, and then why?
So here's my thing. Obviously, I've been DJing since the 80s, so vinyl was like a major thing for me, right? But I'm just gonna be honest. I think DJs that DJ with vinyl in this electronic world, it's almost like a fake out, right? Because it's not really vinyl. It is for you and how you feel, but it's not really.
It's still digital.
It's still digital, right? So when I think of vinyl, I used to be in clubs that the bass would be so hard and make your chest move, right? And the needles be jumping, and you have to put
the penny on the
needle, and people bumping the table and shit like that. So
house party stuff going on.
Yeah, so and then scratching was harder because you really had to be soft with it, but fly with it. So for right now, I'm a controller guy.
Okay.
Last one. What do you recommend DJs that's learning the game but trying so hard to be scratchers?
So here's the thing about scratching, right? I don't really know of any DJs that scratch a lot and keep a dance floor packed. It's not for that type of party. And I'm a DJ that DJs where people party, right? But in lounges and shows, and even when I go, like I'm on tour a lot, and a lot of times Jazzy Jeff and I are on the same bill. And when he plays, people aren't really dancing as much as they're watching him, right? Because they're just so enamored by him. They just love him so much. So he can really do his stuff, and it's like, and you see the videos online, and rooms are right? So that's easier. But the other thing is that for the younger generation, they don't have the patience to hear records for a long time. So scratching works for a younger generation, right? So for the younger generation, they just want you to drop it and you in and out in 30 seconds, right? And there's no mixing, there's no blending, there's no whatever. That's not the kind of DJ I am. I can scratch, but I don't really do it.
What's Frank Ski's #1 genre to DJ?
What's really crazy is when I was younger, my dad was a audiophile. He loved albums, and he had all kinds of albums, right? So my favorite music to listen to when I'm not listening to music, don't laugh, I love yacht rock, right? I love like
I had to laugh, man. I'm sorry, man. You said what's this called?
Yacht rock.
Yacht rock, okay.
Yacht rock. Michael McDonald. If you like pina colada, getting caught, like all those old songs, because that was like that's when I was really a young kid. That's what was playing. But so my music genre, I'm saying that because it's so vast, right? So it's like that, and then when I leave the club at night, I either listen to nothing or I listen to classical music to get my head right? Because I want to make sure that it's always special when I walk in the club. I don't want to hear the same thing at home, same thing in the car, and then get in the club and do the same thing. I want it to be, because when I DJ, honestly, truly, one of the reasons I talk to myself, because I'm hyping myself up. Like I'll do something, be like, damn, that sound good. Y'all gotta give me my shit now. That was good. Wasn't that shit good?
I'm big on the sound effects.
Because I want some. I want to impress myself, right? So I play so much different music, but I love being in a great house set. I love being in a really great, dope R&B set. I love a really dope ass party where all of a sudden you do a slow jam set and people are up dancing. You know what I mean? So it's everything for me. And then for me, I'm just like an old hip hop head. So I love old school hip hop a lot.
For me, it's house. What about you, Monet?
I would say R&B.
R&B bags.
R&B.
Yeah. House is crazy. But you know what's interesting about house? And I was having this conversation the other night with a really famous musician that's out now. And matter of fact, last night, and we were talking, and he just so happened to be, he was in Tulum at Black Coffee's concert in Tulum, right? And Black Coffee went on like 4 or 5 in the morning until the sun came up, and they were out in the Mayan area of Tulum, right? And it was such a musical like thing, right? And people don't realize that house music now has gotten so big globally that there are countries now that don't even play hip hop. Like there are places where hip hop is like when you do your reggae set.
Yeah.
That's hip hop.
You get
You
in
know
and
what I'm
out.
saying?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get in and out,
In
right?
reggae, they
Do
want
your
you to do
reggae
that,
set
yeah.
in and out.
Yeah.
And people thought it was gonna be like Afro beats and whatever, but that damn house shit is just on another, and it's everywhere in the world.
Yep.
It doesn't matter where you go. You can be on the continent of Australia, you can be in Europe, you can be in Africa, you can
Yep.
be in Asia, you can be in America. Like the house shit has gotten
I think it's the way it make you feel.
great because it's 122, 23,
And
it's not
24
low
beats a
vibration.
minute.
Yeah.
And that's what your heartbeat is.
Yeah.
Right? So
Okay.
it goes right along with your heartbeat, right?
Kind of like
And-
I'm a piano.
Yeah.
yeah, it's same, and it's like that shit is like, and I'm a piano is like a form of house, right? It's just a different segment of it, but the house music thing is crazy. So that's always gonna be my love.
We recommend on the DJs Need Love 2 podcast for every DJ to have a house
Tap into
bag.
that house bag.
Tap into that house bag.
And
It's
put
going
my
to-
song "Whores in the House" in it.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first the biggest gig you've ever done? And how did you get that gig?
The biggest gig I've done so many huge gigs.
Or okay, so I guess not the
Something that
first,
was
but
like
something,
super
yeah.
exciting. I would have to say,
Like,
probably.
Do you get nervous?
Yeah, I get nervous a lot. I think the first time I did, imagine I'm coming to Atlanta. I got on the radio in November. I didn't do my first party till Martin Luther King weekend in January, and I did Club Kaya Northern Exposure. And I didn't know how it was going to be. And I remember pulling up to Kaya and seeing a line with like 1,000 people in it. And I was like, damn, they not even open yet. And I went inside and it was already packed.
Wow.
And I remember I got on stage because I had hyped it so much, and it was like the up north shit. And when I walked on the stage, there was a DJ who I think is out in Vegas now, Jay Nice, right? And he was like, he said, so he was from Baltimore with me, and he said he was playing a record, and he just took the needle off the record and stopped. And he was like, he's here, Frank Ski is here, and the whole crowd started screaming. And we had it was records, it was crates, right? And I'm like stuck because I don't know what to start with.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have a chance to see him play a little bit and what am I gonna play with? I didn't have a chance to map it out, and I was like, what am I gonna start with? And the people they banging on tables, they banging,
They ready to
banging
go. Yeah,
bottles,
yeah,
they
yeah.
ready to go, and it's crazy, and it's screaming, and everybody's yelling. And I was like, what do you play, right? Because it's everybody from up north, but they from everywhere. They from Jersey, Chicago, Detroit, whatever, Baltimore, D.C. Like, what do you play first? And I remember I pulled out the Jungle Brothers, "Girl, I'll House You." And can you feel it? Check this out. Boom. And when that shit hit, the crowd went bananas. I think that was a highlight.
Explain that feeling for the DJ that's watching the show. Going through all that work, trying to find the right song, and it hits. How do you feel? Like how does that make you feel like in that moment?
It makes you feel like the entertainer you are.
Yeah.
Like if you a DJ, you an entertainer.
Yeah.
Like you a performer. You know, like Quicksilver in DC has this thing. I'm not just a DJ. I'm an entertainer.
Quicksilver's
you know,
he's
and
a-
and that's what it is. You're like an entertainer, and I think that's probably my thing.
Give a big shout out to DJ Quicksilver out there, man. He's been doing his thing forever, man. We used to be in Mexico. He was always the headline DJ.
Oh, he's the guy.
And
He's like my mentee. He'll tell you. He came up under me in Baltimore.
Super skilled, man.
He's dope.
One of those DJs that, when I knew I wanted to do this full time, he was just watching him and being able to be around
And he
him.
talks in third person too.
Yeah,
Really?
he does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's talk legacy. When people hear the name Frank Ski, what would you want them to remember
Yeah,
as
let's
far
go.
as your DJ career?
I think as far as my DJ career, what I would want them to remember, because we're really talking about DJs, is people remember times in their life and periods in their life based on songs. Like songs is like the thing that you can see somebody you haven't seen in 20 years, and you'll see them be like, hey, how's it going, whatever, and your brain doesn't really click to a time period. Like you think about it, but not really, right? You can see somebody used to go to high school, but like, yeah, we went to high school together. But certain songs that really
feeling.
captivated you, that song that you played that shit over and over and over again, that song will always take you back to that place. And I think DJs have the ability, because people will remember their favorite club and they will remember the damn DJ. And that's what I want people to remember. Like, they had a good time when they came to my parties.
I agree with that. So what's next for you? Project, shows? What's coming up for DJ Frank Ski right now?
So I got to put out my 30-year anniversary album of all my Frank Ski songs, from like Whores in the House to Doo Doo Brown to all those songs. I got to put that out. I actually got to go back through the songs and take out any samples that we didn't clear 30 years ago. You know, because back then everybody was just sampling shit, right? Then my podcast is starting, my Frankly Speaking podcast, which is like a new thing that I've been doing. Which is actually amazing. He does it on his Instagram. I watch it all the time, man. It's very informative, man. Just try to make people think about things, you know. My inspirational vitamin book, I finished the book, so I got the book coming out. I'm doing the Frank Ski cruise, first annual. I've been doing international trips for a long time. I've never done cruises, and I really wanted to get people into doing a yearly cruise. You know, so I create the Frank Ski Travel Network because people love traveling with me. Because I guess people know if they spend their money and come with me, they're gonna get the right experience. They're gonna get their money's worth. That's what I would say. Invest in yourself. Being around people that can put you in different positions. You know. You know, nowadays I tell people, especially in radio, there was a time when a radio salary would give you enough money that you could live your life and you be straight. And all the extra stuff was extra, right? So I did the morning show, but I also DJ'd 3 nights a week, right? But nowadays, radio doesn't do that because the money is not there like it used to be. So you really have to be creative in what you do. You really have to do a bunch of stuff. You really have to DJ and do a podcast and do this and do that, you know, and put it all together. But that's what we do anyway, right? That's what we do anyway. And as entertainers, which DJs really are, entertainers, you got to be able to do that. You got to be a singer, but you got to be able to act, right? You got to be a singer, but you better know how to dance. You got to, you know, you got to do this, and that's what you see now. I feel like you have to be very intentional about being successful. Yes. Like you have to be very intentional. Like you have to know what you want and then go for it. Yeah. I really do agree with that. Yeah, 100%.
I want to bring up, before we end, I want to bring up your podcast because you did, I saw you bring up a subject about the alcohol. Yeah. Do you think it's crazy? Not millennials, but Gen Z not drinking as much, or you think it's the club prices?
So it's a couple things. So I remember it had to be like 10 years ago. There was a guy from Europe here, and him and I were talking, and he was like, you know, the club business is dying, is going to die. And I remember at the time, I was like, I don't know, whatever. And he said, you know what is killing the club business? And I said, what? He said, when you and I were younger, how did we meet girls? Now think about this for a second, right? When we were younger, the only way you met girls was either you was hanging out at the mall on the weekend, right? Or you were going to a party. It didn't matter if it was the skating ring, or you got old enough to go to a club, or you went to a bar, and you got out of work, and you put on your best and you went to a happy hour. That's how you met the opposite sex, right? The thing about it is now is people don't need to go to a club to meet people. They meet people on social media. And most relationships now, a lot of them are people that met on dating apps, right? So there's really no need to go to a club. So that was strike number one. Strike number two is the club business got real greedy, right? In the sense that, here's the thing. When you open a restaurant, which I've had one, your biggest moneymaker at a restaurant is not the food. It's the liquor, right? Because a bottle of liquor gives you 20 shots, and you basically pay $25 for the bottle, and let's say you're paying $10 for the shot, right? So basically you're making 200% profit off liquor, right? Or even more, depending, right? So with that being said, when the club business came in and they started doing sections and bottles and the prices kept going up and up and up and up, people can't afford to do that, right? So if you're a guy, let's say I'm a guy. Let's say I go to the club and I meet you, Monet, right? And I'm like, hey, we need to go to dinner, right? Let's go out. So I got to pay, right? So I got to go to the club to meet you. I got to pay. Then when I take you out, guess what? I got to pay again. Now, if you a regular dude, a lot of dudes ain't dating one time a week. Dude, some dudes out here dating 2 or 3 times a week. So now you paying 2 or 3 times a week to go on a date, right? So it becomes, so now people are like, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not spending that money. So they're not doing that no more. So people are like, we're not going to do that. Now, when it comes to Gen Z, right? They weren't like my generation or millennials where you had to go out to have a good time. Gen Z played video games at home. Their good time wasn't getting on their bike and riding around the neighborhood. Their good time was getting home, getting on the video, or watching MTV or Yo MTV Raps or whatever, being in their house. Like, so socializing really wasn't their thing, being out like that. So what they prefer is they like smaller things. They like going out. They like smoking a hookah. They like going to music rooms. They like whatever. So the big club thing isn't really for them. So with that being said, that's strike number 2. Strike number 3 is that Americans in general have stopped drinking and people around the world have stopped drinking. This is the lowest drinking period in history to where it was a time where 70% of the people drank. Now that number's in the 40s, right? People are trying to be more health conscious. People are taking GLP-1, Ozempic, and Wegovy, and that makes you not want to drink. They're vaping, and when you vape, that makes you not want to drink as much. And when you're hookahing, that makes you not want to drink as much. So everybody's struggling. These clubs is struggling because they're not drinking. So that's strike 3.
They even have some clubs. I mean, they have some states where they have dry months. I know in January in Las Vegas, it was a lot of people were not drinking.
Not drinking at all.
Dry month.
So you know the liquor companies now have like $50 billion worth of liquor on the shelves that's not selling. Right? The other thing is, even from Anheuser-Busch, all the beer companies, you know what their number one thing is now? Non-alcoholic beers. Non-alcoholic wines.
I actually saw that on tour. We had a lot of
non-alcoholic. So you go places now, they have a full non-alcoholic bar. Like you event in a hotel now, they got a regular bar and then they got a non-alcoholic bar.
I've seen it.
Because people are not drinking. But because that money is not there, people can't afford the insurance for a club. They can't afford the security for a club. They can't afford the rent and the building and everything else that takes to do a club. So that's where you see a lot of these clubs and restaurants closing.
That's right, man. Listen, we are back, man. If you guys are enjoying what's going on, man, stop what you're doing. Just stop, pause, hit that like button, turn the notification on because we are always doing something dope in this DJ community, all right? All right, so Frank Ski, man, this is the number one question we ask all of our guests. Why do DJs need love?
DJs need love because they control more of your life than you realize. Like DJs really control your life, right? I remember growing up in New York and there was a very famous DJ named Frankie Crocker. And everybody in New York would stop what they're doing and turn on Frankie Crocker. And Frankie Crocker would basically bring you into his world. Melvin Lindsay in D.C. I remember one time I'm listening to Frankie Crocker and he's interviewing somebody and you hear these bubbles and he's like, we in the hot tub tonight, y'all. Where he has sound effects bubbles like, and you would think he's in the hot tub interviewing this famous person, but they make you feel good. Melvin Lindsay made you feel good. Like these people make you feel good, and DJs really control so much of your life, man, and you owe so much back to the DJ. That's why we need love.
I love that, man. So listen, I know you do the Frankly Speaking. Where can they get that type of information? Where they can find you on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you at?
Wherever you're at Frank Ski on all social media platforms. At Frank Ski, there it is.
And that's another tip, man. Like, you know, DJs got like 3 different tags for the social medias. Have one that they can find you on everything. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that. You got to make life easy for people. Yeah, you got to make life easy.
All right. And that was another episode of the DJs Need Love 2 podcast. Like I said, I'll go by the name DJ Monet.
I'm DJ Badio.
And this is
Frank Ski.
And we are out of here.